مرحبا, كيفكن? When you pronounce Arabic words, where does the stress lie? At the beginning, in the middle, or at the end? So do you say Samir or Samir? Do you say Tariq or Tariq? I'm gonna explain to you the stress rules as simply as I can. First of all, you need to know what are the vowels and what are the consonants in Arabic. The vowels, you have two kinds, long vowels and short vowels. The long vowels are three, the alif, the waw, and the ya. The short vowels are also three, the fatha, which is pronounced as a, the dhamma, pronounced as u, and the kasra, pronounced as I. There's also the sukoon, but since it's silent, I'm not gonna count it here. The rest of the Arabic letters are all consonants. So now that you know what are the vowels and what are the consonants, we'll move on to the stress rules. Words are divided into syllables. Okay, you have three types of syllables. You have light syllables, heavy syllables, and super heavy syllables. What does that mean? A light syllable is made out of a consonant followed by a short vowel. Remember what the short vowels were? Fatha, Dhamma, Kasra, A, U, I. For example, here you have B. The Ba is a consonant and the I is the Kasra, a short vowel. So the combination B is a light syllable. For example, in the word بالسيارة, when you say I'm going by car, بالسيارة. Okay, so B is a light syllable. A heavy syllable is a consonant followed by a long vowel. Here you have fi. The fa is a consonant and the ya is a long vowel. Fi, like the preposition meaning in. A heavy syllable can also be a consonant followed by a short vowel followed by another consonant. For example, zir. Zay is a consonant, the kasra is a short vowel, the ra is a consonant, zir. Or, zir means a button by the way, or riz, which means rice, ra, kasra, zay. Also, mum, for example. Mim is a consonant, short vowel, the dhamma, another consonant, like in the word mumkin. So, these two examples are heavy syllables. What are super heavy syllables? Super heavy syllables are made out of a consonant followed by a long vowel followed by another consonant. For example, Ain, consonant, long vowel, consonant. Ain means eye. Nar, fire, consonant, long vowel, the alif, followed by another consonant, the ra. Nur, meaning light, consonant, vowel, consonant. Shab, young man, consonant, long vowel, a consonant doubled with a shadda. That's also the case of a super heavy syllable. Or you can have a consonant followed by a doubled long vowel. For example, nay, which means ra. Naw, like in the verb nawwara. These are considered as well super heavy syllables. Okay, so you need to know these three types of syllables in order to understand the stress rules. So you get an Arabic word, how do you determine where the stress lies? At the beginning, in the middle, or at the end? This is only an issue if the word has two or more syllables. If it has only one syllable, there's no issue. Of course, that's where the stress is. So we're talking now two or more syllables. So you always start with the last syllable of the word and then you move backwards. So from the last syllable to the one before the last one to the one before it. Okay, so you move syllable by syllable from the end of the word towards the beginning of the word. You ask, so you're starting with the last syllable. You ask, is that syllable super heavy? This is a reminder, what's a super heavy syllable? It's consonant, long vowel consonant, like ayn, nur, or consonant, double long vowel. These are super heavy syllables. So back to the question, is that syllable super heavy? Yes. For example, Samir, is the last syllable super heavy? Yes. Mir, sa, mir. Mir is the last syllable. It is super heavy because it's made up of a consonant, long vowel consonant. So this is where my stress lies. Listen, Samir, Samir. Okay, another example. Banat, which means girls. So it's made of two syllables, ba, nat. So I start with the last syllable. Is it super heavy? Nat. It is. Consonant, long vowel, consonant. So that's where my stress lies. Banat. Do you hear it? Another example is the word prophet. Nabi. Okay, it's made up of two syllables. Na, bi. Is the last syllable super heavy? Of course it is. B. Consonant, doubled long vowel. That's where my stress lies. Listen, Nabi. Okay, so I started with my last syllable. I asked, is it super heavy? If the answer was yes, that's where my stress lies, on the super heavy syllable. If my answer is no, then I move on to the syllable before the last one. And I ask again, is that syllable heavy? A reminder what heavy is: consonant followed by a long vowel, or consonant, short vowel, consonant. So, is the syllable preceding the last one heavy? Let's take the example Samira. Here we had Samir, now Samira. Look how now the stress changes. So here I already have figured out that the last syllable is not super heavy, so I go to the syllable preceding that. Mi. Is that a heavy syllable? Yes, it is, because it's made up of a consonant and a long vowel. So that's where my stress lies. Listen. Samira. Samira. See, I'm stressing the mi. Another example. Banati. Here we saw the word banat, which means girls. Now, if I want to say my girls, banati, the stress changes. T, we had figured out that the last syllable is not a super heavy syllable because it's made up of a consonant and a long vowel. It's not super heavy. So I move to the preceding syllable. Na. Ba, na, ti. Na is the preceding syllable to the last one. Is it heavy? You bet it is, because it's made up of the noon, which is a consonant, and the alif, which is a long vowel. That's where my stress lies. Listen. Banati. Not banati. See, that's the difference. Banati. I'm stressing the na. Again, I pronounce these two. Samira. Banati. if my answer here is the preceding syllable to the last one, is it heavy? And my answer is no. For example, in the word Fatima, Fatima. So I figured out already that the last syllable is not super heavy. That's ma. I moved on to the preceding one, which is ti. Is it heavy? No, because it's made up of a consonant followed by a short vowel. It's not heavy. So my stress lies on the syllable preceding that one, which in this case is the first syllable of the word Fatima. So here, how I stress the first syllable. Fatima. Fatima. You hear it? Let's take another example. The word rajraja. The last syllable is not super heavy. The one before it is not heavy. So the stress lies on the syllable preceding it, which is also here the first syllable. Most words in Arabic will not have more than 3 syllables. There are some, but mostly not. So the first syllable here is raj, which is made up of the ra, short vowel, and a jim. Raj. So this is where my stress lies. Listen up. Raj, raja. Raj, raja. See? Raj, raja. That's where the stress lies. Let's practice some more. Okay, I've got here some words where the first syllable is stressed. Listen up and repeat. Or I'll give you a second to think yourself. Try to say it yourself, and then I'll say it. That one. Safi. I stress the sa because the last syllable is not super heavy. Safi. Next one, try it yourself. Kataba. So my stress lies on the first syllable again because the last one is not super heavy. The one before it is not heavy. So it's the first syllable. Kataba. That one. Kataba means to write. Next one, which means to drink. Try it. Shariba. My stress lies on the sha because the last syllable is not super heavy. The one before it is not heavy. So the stress lies on the first one. Shariba. Last one, which is verb to read. Try it. Qara'a. Again, my stress lies on the ka. Qara'a. Because the last syllable is not super heavy, the one before it is not heavy, so the stress lies on the first one. Now, words where the second to last syllable is stressed. Okay, try this one yourself. Khadija. Khadija. So the stress is on the D, the middle syllable, which is heavy. Khadija. Try this one, which means schools. Madaris. So ma is the first one, da is the middle one, which is heavy, and the last one is not super heavy, so that's where my stress lies. Madaris. Next one, jewels. جواهر. جواهر. The last one is not super heavy, so my stress lies on the heavy one. جواهر. Next one, which means places. أماكن. My stress lies on the middle one, which is heavy. أماكن. Places. Now some words where the last syllable is stressed. Oh, this should be here a kasra. So, siham. Why? Because the last syllable is a super heavy one. That's where my stress lies. Siham, which is a woman's name. Try this one. Kabir. Stress lies on bir, a super heavy syllable, which means big. Saghir. Stress lies on gir, super heavy. Saghir means small. Taus. Ta is the first one. Woos. Woos is a super heavy syllable, so that's where my stress lies. Taus means a peacock. Next one. Try it. It has 3 syllables. Almani. No. Almani. Almani. So the stress is on the last one because it's made up of a consonant followed by a doubled long vowel. Almani. By the way, this one in Fusha is pronounced correct like this with the stress on the last syllable. However, in colloquial Arabic, for nationalities, we don't stress the last syllable. We stress the one before it. So in colloquial, I would say Almani, but in MSA, it's Almani. And all the nationalities in MSA, I stress the last syllable. Like Lebanese would be Lubnani, Masri, Tunisi. However, in colloquial, it's Almani, Lebanese, Tunisi, Suri. Okay. Next, the last one has 3 syllables. Try it. Mahrajan. Mahrajan. I stress the last syllable, jan. It's a super heavy syllable. Mahrajan. And that means festival. Okay, as a last note, I want to compare 2 words that are very similar, but the stress is totally different, and of course the meaning is totally different. So compare this word, the word on the right, with the word on the left. How do you read this one? Try it. Tariq. Stress is on ta, because that's not a super heavy syllable. Tariq. It's a boy's name. The second one, try it. Tariq. Road. Now, this is a super heavy syllable. That's why now my stress is on riq. طريق طارق. Next one, living, which means I live, I'm living. Try it. ساكن. Stress is on sa because that's not a super heavy syllable. ساكن. Now, a prisoner. Try it. سجين. Stress is on جين. سجين. ساكن. Next one. Try it. Where does the stress lie? On fa. Faris, which is a name or which meaning night. Faris. Stress is on fa. The word for pray is faris. The stress is on ris, which is a super heavy syllable. Faris. Next one, a ruler. Not a ruler, but the person who rules. Hakim. Stress is on ha. Wise. Try it. Hakim. Stress is on kim. Hakim. Hakim. And the last comparison I want you to make is with these following words. My students always find these words so difficult to pronounce. But let's see how to pronounce these words properly with the proper stress rules. So, mosque. Try it. Where does the stress lie? I would say جامع. جامع. So where does my stress lie? On the first syllable. Ma is the second syllable. Ma. Okay, it's a heavy one. It's not a super heavy one. The next one is university. Try it. جامعة. Okay, جامعة. Where does my stress lie? Again on the first syllable. Because the last syllable is heavy, the one preceding it is light, so my stress goes to the first syllable. جامعة. Again, جامع. جامعة. The difference between these two, in stress-wise, there's no difference. They both stress the first syllable. However, the last one ends with an a. جامعة. After the ain, you say an a again. جامعة. Look, whereas this one, you say جامع. It ends with the consonant ain, and here it ends with the vowel a sound. The word for group. Try it yourself. Where does my stress lie? Listen up. جماعة. On the middle vowel, right? Because the last one is not super heavy. This one is heavy. جماعة. Okay, see the difference? جامعة. جماعة. And the last one, Friday. I have two syllables. The L here is not considered as a syllable because you have to say it as, you don't say El Jum'a, you say Ijjum'a. Ijjum'a. because the jim is a sound letter, you don't pronounce the L. Okay, so it's not counted as a syllable. الجمعة الجمعة الجمعة. Where does my stress lie? On the first syllable, because the last one is not super heavy. Simple, no? And that was it about the stress rules. I hope it all became clearer now. Don't forget, keep practicing because practice makes perfect. If you like this video, press on like and subscribe to my channel. ويلا بشوفكن.